What's up, guys? Tugi here, back again with some more NHL 16 and my Nations United GM Mode series, but it is with regret that I say this will be the finale one way or another. If we beat the Blues, we just keep on going until we know how this season and how this series will ultimately end. It's something I knew that, the series was bound to end more quickly than others. Obviously, with how long the Vancouver series went, it went beyond 10 seasons, as a lot of you guys wanted it to, but that took away from this and the Islanders series and how long those would actually be. So, unfortunately, we will not get to see how well McIntyre, Sexton, and Welch will progress. Then, of course, you have other players down in the AHL. You have Savage, Caffrey, Denisov. Defensively, Monador, Volchenkov, Haste, Lyles, Bishop. Not the best prospects. We have Ruchin, fucking elite goalie, who I would love to see how he progresses. But overall, this is it. This will be the final episode. And like I said, it definitely sucks because we won't get to see how these guys progress. But we're moving on to NHL 17. I'm very, very excited for that. So we will see, though, if we can leave NHL 16 on a good note. But unfortunately, we have to face the St. Louis Blues here in the second round. They have a better offense, a better defense, and a better goaltender. We are still dealing with injuries, and I just genuinely don't like our chances. And I know I said that against Dallas as well, but I don't know. Who knows? That's all I'll say at this point is who knows. Looking at the Blues, top line, it is Jaden Schwartz, who had 7 points in the first round. Paul Stastny on the top line, he had 2 assists. And, of course, Vladimir Tarasenko, NHL 17 cover boy Vladimir Tarasenko, had 6 points in that first round. Jaden Schwartz, even Paul Stastny, he has 5-star puck skills. He has 90 passing. It's mainly the physical category, a little bit of the skating category that really drags him down. That is a very dynamic top line, very offensive. The second line, it is Robbie Fabry, who had 3 assists in the first round. He is with Connor Bleakley, also 3 assists, and Cam Atkinson. So again, another pretty dangerous top line if you look at those ratings. The third line, it is Dmitry Yaskin. He had only 1 goal in the first round. Jansen Harkins with a goal in the first round. And Ronald Kennens with a goal in the first round. A little bit of an interesting lineup there. Yaskin, obviously in the Vancouver series, we picked him up and he just didn't develop. He's one of those fringe players. You just never know if he's actually going to develop as he should. Jansen Harkins, we had him way back in the Bruins series. He certainly didn't reach an 85 overall. And then Ronald Kennens, that's about where he tops out. Obviously, he didn't spend too much time with us in Vancouver. We, of course, had him earlier on in this series. The fourth line, it is Glenn Gaudin, who had a goal in the first round. He is with Yori Laterra, who had 2 points, and Alex DeBrincat, who had 1 point in the first round. That's a very, very well-rounded lineup. And defensively, of course, it does not get any better. They have Tommy Vannelli, who ripped us apart in a previous series. He had 4 assists in the first round. He plays with Alex Pietrangelo, a 90 and a 91. As your top defensive pairing, that's pretty goddamn good. Second pairing, it is Nikita Zaitsev with Jordan Schmaltz and Travis Dermott with Colton Parayko. That is a fantastic defense. I would take that on my team any day. The goaltender, it is Luke Opilka. He is, let's see how he's doing, actually. He has a 956 save percentage through 6 games. Yeah, we're in a little bit of trouble. Jake Allen is the backup. Do they have any injuries? They do not. Samuel Blais and Petteri Lindbaum are the scratches. And again, I said it in the Dallas episode. I'll say it again here. Despite the fact that we had a very good season, finishing in second place with 47 wins, we are by no means expected to win this series. We are true underdogs in every sense of the word. But let's see what happens. Will this be the last playoff series that the Minnesota Wild have, or will we make it to the third round for the first time in this series? Let's find out. It is game 1. It is the first period here in St. Louis. Let's see what happens, and that is very anticlimactic. So we will jump right to the second period, and that is also anticlimactic. 25 shots to 16, but we are scoreless, and we will start the third period sim. It is very well Vladimir Tarasenko scores, right as I was about to say. It very well could be the case that the next goal wins it. And right now, oh, Dermott. Dermott, damn it, Dermott. He gets the goal. We're down 2-0 with a minute to go. It's not looking good, and indeed it isn't. Opelka with the shutout, 26 saves. Tarasenko, the game winner. Dermott adds to it, and we drop game one in St. Louis. A very strong performance for Freddie Anderson. I mean, despite, the fact that we had quite a few shots as well, overall, just the offense wasn't there. So that's a pretty disappointing way to start this series. But, as we've seen, anything can happen. It's only one game. We still have a lot of hockey to go, and we'll look to turn it around here in Game 2. It is the first period. Let's see what happens, and we might not be able to turn it around, guys. This might be it. Stastny and Tarasenko, the top line, getting it done. 2 goals in the first period. We are in trouble early. Second period, though, can we turn it around? And that's a start. Russell Sexton with the first wild goal in this series. It took 4.5 goddamn periods of play, but we're on the board, and that sets up this third period. Can we get to Opelka? We have a power play opportunity that just went away pretty quickly. 12 minutes to go. We're on the power play yet again, and once again, can't get anything done. Come on, boys. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go. Still down by a goal, and Tommy Vannelli with the empty netter. That will do it. It's a 3-1 victory. We finally get on the board, but right now Opelka is the difference, and Tarasenko, for that matter, another 2-point performance, getting on the board yet again. And worst case scenario has come true. We go to Minnesota. We take home ice for the first time in the series, down 2-0. Let's see here. I'm going to look at our power play lines. Really quickly, although I'm sure they have our best players. I mean, yeah, pretty much that second line's looking a little bit rocky. I'm going to take Draisaitl. Off. We will go with Russell Sexton. And I'm going to take Kevin Fiala out of there. And we will go... Do we go with Welch? Is the question, or McIntyre? Let's go with Welch, and we'll have Reeder in instead of McIntyre. And I think I'll go with that. It's a minor change. I mean, we've always had shit power play luck. As far as the lines go, Draisaitl still very quiet. So I am going to reward the youth line, and we're going to make them the second line, and we will see if they can hang. We got absolutely nothing to lose here in this series. This is it, regardless of the outcome. And we'll just see if that youth line can help get the offense going. We only have 1 goal through 2 games. We're on home ice. Really, the ideal situation would be to score very, very early. And we'll see if that can happen. St. Louis gets the opening shot, so maybe not the best sign. If I can get it to ×8, there we go. First period, can we get that opening goal? And we can. It was Nikolai Ehlers 30 seconds in. Kennan scores, and then Daniel Sprong under a minute later gives us the lead. Ehlers and Sprong on that top line. They had a marvelous first round, have been kept dead quiet to start this series, but things are looking okay. We have the lead for the first time in 3 games now, or approaching 3 games. We have a lead. I'm not used to this. What am I supposed to do right now? I guess there's only one thing I can do. Second period, can we hold on to this lead? And Jesus Christ, the offense has really woken up, but the defense has started to disappear. It is Tobias Reeder and Kevin Fiala now on the third line, both from kind of like a Rask spot. They get the goals. They put us up 4-1, but then it's Harkins and Bleakley, 2 quick goals. That makes it a 4-3 game as we head into the third period. A very defensive, reserved series through the first 2 games, and all of a sudden we have 7 goals through 40 minutes. It's absolutely ridiculous. Halfway through the period, can we hold on? Can we get the insurance? And it's Tommy Vannelli. God damn it, he is so good. He is so good. We have 2 minutes to go. Are we going to overtime? And we are. 37 shots to 23 in our favor. 4 goals apiece, though, and the hope of the hope of the Minnesota Wild could be dashed right here. If the Blues go up 3-0, we are screwed. We are absolutely screwed. But let's do this. Let's see what happens. Overtime against the Blues. Kopitar, Draisaitl even. That'd be great for you to show up right about now. You've never been a playoff performer. You weren't a playoff performer in Boston, but McIntyre is. Devin McIntyre, the biggest goal of his career. The overtime winner on Opelka in Game 3. Ronald Kennins was the first star, but it doesn't matter. We are back in the game. It's a 5-4 overtime win in Game number 3. Who gives a damn about the scouting at this point? We're going on. We are moving forward. It is Game 4. We're going to try to keep this momentum going. We have a chance to tie this series up here in Game 4. So let's do this. Let's not waste any time. First period of this game, and it's Devin McIntyre again. You absolute beauty. 10 shots apiece, but we get the opening goal, and things are looking up for the Wild. Is that an air of confidence you hear me speaking with? I don't think it is. I'm expecting this to go very poorly, but we will see what happens. We got a lot of hockey left, but things are looking up. The team is starting to gel. Second period could absolutely kill my hopes, and it was close. George Welch make 2-0. Cam Atkinson gets the goal back. Rodrigo Bowles gets on the board to make it 3-1, and then Paul Stastny. Paul Stastny, can you tell I've been just hockey, legends hockey. Third period, we have a 3-2 lead. Let's do this. Come on, boys. Insurance, we have a power play. We can't do anything because our power play is terrible. Insurance, that's what it's all about right now, and Tarasenko with the goal. Another power play comes and goes. We're getting heavily outshot. We haven't had a shot in about 7 minutes. My God. And Jordan Schmaltz scores. Oh, my God. We were just absolutely shit on in that third period. I'm not sure how long it was. There was at least a 6 to 7 minute span where we were stuck at 20 shots. We collapse in the third period. Tarasenko and Jordan Schmaltz. And we are down 3-1 in this series. It was all looking so good. So good after Game 3. And now we are 1 game away from Nations United coming to a close. This is what, season 7? 7 or 8? And we haven't had an ounce of success. We have never made it out of the first round. Let's change our power play to shooting and just see if that helps. I don't know what else to do. Maybe change, have the carrying up a little bit further. Like I said, it would be a shame. I mean, it's weird because, Islanders series, so much early success. This series, nothing but miserable failures. That could be the case yet again. Like I said, we are definitely not the favorites in this series, but I was hoping for so much more, hoping for just that wild ride to the upset. No other options we can really put in. Mueller, Niederreiter, Burmistroff are still hurt. We have no choice but to just move forward and hope for the miracle. We go back to St. Louis and in a hole. I mean, it's a 3-1 deficit. We're in a lot of trouble, but anything can happen, right? First period of game number 5, and Devin McIntyre. I hate that I'm not going to get to see what he becomes because he is really stepping up right now. Second period, can we get that insurance? And we do, in a way. DeBrincat ties it, and then Rodrigo Bowles gets another goal in this series, and we have a 2-1 lead. Yet again, we have the lead. We have a lead. We have the lead. Say it however you want. We are winning with 12 minutes to go. Can we get an insurance goal, or can Freddie Anderson just hold on? I still regret that it took me this long to get Freddie Anderson. I probably should have took him from the start. And there it is. There it is. It's a 2-1 win in game number 5. That brings the series to a 3-2 lead for the St. Louis Blues. 36 saves there for Freddie Anderson. 1 game down 2 to go. And we are back home in Minnesota for Game 6. Come on, boys. I believe we can do this. We can absolutely do this. Come on. First period of Game 6, and it's Connor Bleakley with the opening goal. That's okay. We got time. We got plenty of time. Second period, we're going to turn it around, okay. Travis Dermott with the goal. Let's do this. Third period, we're in trouble. Down by 2. 5 minutes gone. We need goals. We need goals. Halfway through the period. Oh my God, we're in so much trouble. Joe, it's fucking McKee with the goal. McKee with the goal. 4 minutes to go. Come on, somebody. Anybody? It's over. Oh, it's over. McKee, he gave us a chance. But in the end, the Wild fall in 6 games. Freddie Andersen did his best, man. 33 saves. That might be my biggest regret of this series, is the fact that we decided to get Freddie Andersen so late. You know, I didn't want to take him originally because Toronto had just signed him, or just traded for him, and then signed him. So I wanted to keep it in the most unrealistic series possible. I wanted to keep it somewhat realistic by not taking him. Certainly, we could have gotten guys like Bjorkstrand. There could have been some different things that we could have done, particularly from the start of the series, just getting better players. But I wanted to keep it somewhat interesting. And at the end of it, unfortunately, this team could just never bring it together. We will sim, though, to the end of this season. We'll take a look at the awards, and then we'll even start the draft. Because I want to see if EA are just so goddamn terrible that they would immediately put a great defenseman into the draft that we could have traded Kopitar for. I mean, I don't think we would have made it this far without Anze Kopitar. I don't think we would have beaten the Stars in round 1. But anyway, the Florida Panthers win the final Stanley Cup. The Lehigh Valley Phantoms are the Calder Cup champions. And we will take a look at the playoff tree. The Blues lost to Calgary. Calgary made it. It would have been a rematch against the Flames, or not necessarily a rematch, but my God, NHL 16, Calgary was just the bane of my existence. They lose to the Panthers in 6 games. In the AHL, Lehigh Valley over the San Antonio Rampage. And those are your final champions. You look at the Stanley Cup. Dallas won it. St. Louis, Calgary, New Jersey, and Florida. No repeat winners. The President's Trophy went to Toronto for the 2nd straight year. Tyler Seguin wins the Art Ross and the Hart Trophy. The Norris goes to Ekblad. Yet again, Seguin wins the Lady Byng for the 3rd year in a row and the 4th time in the past 6 years. Duchesne in New Jersey was the Rookie of the Year. Huberdeau gets the Conn Smythe. Louis Domingue, the Vezina. That's certainly interesting. He also won the Jennings, the Masterton, the John Racine. Jace Howard-Yuk, what a goddamn name. Ted Lindsay wins... Tyler Seguin wins the... Ted Lindsay won the Tyler Seguin Award, don't you know? And the Rocket Richard went to Patrick Laine. Down in the AHL, Liam Murphy, a former Bruin in that series. Did we take home any hardware? I don't think we did, and indeed we didn't. We didn't get too much hardware down in the AHL throughout this series, but overall, it was an experimental series. I wanted to try an idea. Maybe down the line in NHL 17 we can try this again. Obviously, this was the more difficult of the ideas, but next time if we do this, it'll be like, you know, an all-Finnish team, an all-Swedish team, an all-Russian team, all-American, all-Canadian, all-Czech Republic, it doesn't matter. But let's see here. We look at scouted players. This will be the last thing that we do in this series. Is there somebody available? Hextall is Slovenian. They did it. I'm for Ernest Hextall. Ernest fucking Hextall. EA. Not just one, but then there was this German goalie, Andreas Hirsch. that we also could have taken. Oh, and in the top 10, Eaton. Eaton, I'm pretty sure that's what, Austrian, Jimmy Eaton. Again, I mentioned that in one of the more recent episodes. There shouldn't be a Jimmy Eaton from Austria. I really hope EA has fixed that, or at least I hope they do in the future. I mean, they're just, yeah, I don't know. Ernest Hextall, the least Slovenian name of all time. I believe that's Slovenia. I'm going to feel really stupid if that's not Slovenia. Some of the flags are pretty similar. I'm pretty sure it is, though. Maybe it's Macedonia or something. I don't even fucking know. I don't even know at this point. I'm just so goddamn salty. Let's just see how good he is. Obviously, we're not trading up to get him. Brunette wasn't available to us. Dandino was elite. He wasn't available to us. High top 4. Yeah, that wouldn't have fit in perfectly for us. That wouldn't have worked out. Oh, and Hirsch was high elite. All right. Yeah, I hate you. I hate you so much. How good was Jimmy Eaton? High top 4. 2 high top 4 defensemen and a high elite goalie in the last fucking draft that we're not doing because the series is over. Players that we needed the entire time to make this series work. EA. Ernest Hextall. Fuck it. God. Alright. That's Ernest Hextall. That's the name of the episode. You guys will know why once you see this. That is it for this episode and for this series. Again, I thank you guys for all the support throughout NHL 16 and with this series in particular. And like I said, I wish it could have gone on longer, especially now. EA, you bastard. I love you, though. I mean, I love-hate relationship, right? Anyways, guys, again, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for the support. I look forward to seeing what happens with NHL 17 as Montreal makes their pick. That's perfectly fine. And I will see you guys in the next series. Remember to vote down in the polls below. Of course, there will be a video to go up with this episode talking about the choices. You can click on screen right now. Click this lovely picture to go to that video, and you can see who the options are. You can vote in the polls to help pick my first series in NHL 17. Again, I thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you next time.